Eldest, that's what I am. Mark my words, my friends. Tom was here before the rivers and the trees. Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He made paths before the big people and saw the little people arriving. Welcome to Tales of Arda, where we discuss and explore Middle-earth. Today we attempt to answer the question, who is Tom Bombadil? First of all, Tom Bombadil is a mysterious character who appears in the Fellowship of the Ring as a helper on Frodo's quest. Tom Bombadil lived in the Old Forest with his wife Goldberry, who is also mysterious. Tom Bombadil is a complete enigma, and therefore we don't get much definitive answers in the books. From when Frodo asks Goldberry of Tom Bombadil's origins, she replies he is, and throughout she refers to him that way. Goldberry goes on to call him the master of the wood and water and hill, and then she explains that no one has caught Tom Bombadil walking in the forest, leaping on the hill top under light and shadow, and that Tom Bombadil has no fear. And she finishes by bluntly stating Tom Bombadil is a master. And later, on during the four hobbits' stay at Tom Bombadil's house, Frodo asked Tom who he was. To this we get a very interesting answer. Tom says he is the eldest and that he was here before the river and the trees. He says that he remembers the arriving of big people and the little people. Tom Bombadil was there before the kings and the Barrow-wights, even at the passing of the elves westward and before the seas were bent. And he ends saying that he was there before the Dark Lord came from outside. From this we can clearly see that Tom Bombadil is ages old. He mentions the big people and the little people arriving. This refers most likely to the foundation of Arnor and the migration and settling of the Númenóreans there in the end of the second age and the beginning of the third. The little people refers to, of course, hobbits, who in the mid-Third Age migrated from the Vales of the Anduin to Eriador, and more precisely the Shire. Before the Kings is another reference to Arnor, and the Barrow-wights also imply that Tom was there before the Arnorian Wars with Angmar, and the time when the Witch King sent fell spirits to live in the Barrow Downs. Next we see just how old Tom really is, as he stated he was already living in his forest before the elves passed westwards, and that he was there in the years of the trees when elves awake in Cuvianen. They later passed through Eriador to come to Valinor. We also have a Númenórean reference when Tom says before the seas were bent, which refers to Eru Iluvatar and the destruction of Númenor, which resulted in the earth becoming round, for it had been flat up to that point. And finally, Tom Bombadil says he was already I. Middle-earth when the Dark Lord came. This is referring not to Sauron, but to Morgoth, his master, who came into Middle-earth from the void, or in Tom's words, the outside. So who is Tom Bombadil? What is his species? Even though he is immortal, Tom is most likely not an elf, as he appears to look more hobbitish and also existed before the elves awoke. What about the Valar or Maiar? Tom could be one of their kind, but he remembers the coming of Morgoth into Arda, and Morgoth was one of the first Ainur, the collective word for Valar and Maiar, to settle in Eru's new creation. Tom Bombadil could in theory be a Valar in disguise, but I believe he is not a Maiar, as his powers seem to be too great for a Maiar. However, a popular theory is that Tom Bombadil is the embodiment of Eru Iluvatar that watches all of the action in Middle-earth, but never really interferes, as we never see Tom going to fight battles or help the wise, as he prefers to stay with his wife Goldberry, who herself could be a spirit of sorts, sometimes aiding the passing travellers like Frodo and his friends. One of the theories that seems to be more likely is that Tom Bombadil is a spirit of good that took the form of a short human in Arda. Tom, in fact, could be the contrast to Ungoliant, who might be an evil spirit taking form as a spider in Arda. Well, whatever Tom Bombadil is, he is a heart lifter with his many songs. We hope you enjoyed this video. In the comments below, feel free to tell us your opinion of the mysterious character of Tom Bombadil.